Hi, this is Matt Clark, and in this video we're going to talk a little bit about outsourcing your Kindle business. First off, why would you want to outsource your Amazon Kindle business? There's lots of mundane tasks that aren't really the best use of your time. Uploading books and that sort of thing, and even creating covers, if you're not a graphic designer, and even if you are, you're probably not going to want to be doing those things yourself. You can basically find outsourcers to do basically any of these tasks for pretty cheap. You're going to want to do basically use varying levels of outsourcers and different sources depending on what the task is. For example, if you want high quality covers, you're probably going to want to go to a site like elance.com or odes.com. If you want lower quality covers, if you're doing like a bulk number of books or it doesn't matter that much, you can use a site like fiverr.com. So with that said, you can find all these people to do a lot of stuff very cheap that, is not really the best use of your time because it allows you to focus on growing your business, finding more books to write, and working on the marketing strategies, which with Kindle is very, very important and it's changing all the time. So allowing you to focus on those things is why you want outsourcers doing all the rest of the stuff. So what to outsource with Kindle? First off, researching topics and gathering information. Once you've found a book that you want to write, a market that you want to go into, you can have a data entry, data research, basically outsourcer go out there, gather a bunch of information on the topic. If you're using the word tracker tool, the questions tool to basically pull a bunch of questions, you can send those to an outsourcer and have them answer all those things. For this task, you can really use a outsourcer from elance or odes.com between $3 and $6 an hour. Somebody from the Philippines that can write halfway decent English, but at this point they're mainly gathering information. So you definitely want to use somebody cheaper for that. I recommend you can use an outsource for transcribing material. If you have audio recordings, video recordings, or you create audio or video recordings that you want to turn into Kindle books, I recommend outsourcing that stuff. You can either do it through elance.com, odes.com, or you can use a site like this, verbalinc.com. That's basically all they do is transcribe audio files. Or you can have somebody on one of the outsourcing sites just have them do that for you, even though that may not be the only thing they do. You can use an outsourcer for rewriting and editing. I recommend you use an American or somebody from your country to basically that speaks the language in the market that you're going to be selling the product to. That's their main language. The reason I say this is because there's a lot of nuances and quality really does matter with Kindle. So you're probably going to pay a little bit more than having some $3 an hour Philippines person basically do it for you, but that's okay because quality really does matter. But still recommend outsourcing, rewriting, and editing after somebody's done the research basically. The research part is the cheaper outsourcer, and then the rewriting and editing you're going to pay a little bit more, but they'll be able to work a lot more efficiently than having them do the research themselves. So then also creating Kindle covers. You can use fiverr.com, elance.com if you want a little bit higher quality covers, but you can definitely use them. And uploading Kindle books to KDP. Basically, that's just once you have the product description, the cover, the title, author name, and that sort of thing, once you have all the information, you can use an outsourcer to basically upload those books to Kindle. And then lastly, you can basically use an outsourcer to run KDP Select promotions. I don't mean actually letting them choose when to run them, but when you decide as part of your marketing strategy that it needs to be run, you don't really need to go logging into your Amazon account and doing all that. It just wastes time. Basically, you can have an outsourcer saying, hey, on this date, I want to run KDP Select for 1 or 2 days. They can basically go do that for you. Also changing pricing covers because there's a lot of sort of processing time and that kind of stuff that just takes time in Amazon. So having an outsourcer basically go do those things is also a good idea because they can swap those things out and it's all pretty easy, but it just wastes a lot of time if you're doing it yourself. What not to outsource? I recommend not outsourcing choosing what books to write. This is very, very important and it basically determines how much money you're going to make through Kindle and how successful you are. So if you're able to go choose what books to write, what niches to go into, and what your strategies are, then I recommend you definitely do that yourself. Don't outsource that part of this. Writing book descriptions, those are very, very important. It's like writing sales copy. I definitely recommend you doing that yourself. Choosing pricing, this is also part of your overall strategy. I recommend you choose the pricing yourself. And also your overall book marketing strategies. what books are linked to what sort of promotions you're running, that sort of thing. That overall strategy is really where your sort of expertise is needed, and I recommend you do that yourself.